All right, hello, welcome to the weather update. It's 9:45 on June 23rd, 2023. We did get some showers today, and you can see that whole low pressure there over the Great Lakes. So we're on the right side of that, and you can see all the tropical moisture coming up from that on the right side of that. Yep, that's and the smoke is well to the north, but there's a lot of smoke coming out of Quebec and Ontario as well. You can see the fires over there. We'll look at that in a moment. But first, let's get this out of the way. We got two tropical storms now to deal with here, Brett and Cindy. So let's get to this first. And this is the one for Brett. It looks like it weakens it to a depression. So fortunately, it does have it weakening. Let's see. Brett is losing strength over the eastern Caribbean Sea. Rain and gusty wind is still lingering. So it's located about 170 miles east-northeast of Caraco. Maximum sustained winds are 50 miles an hour. Moving west at 21 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 1004 millibars, 29.65 inches. That's one of them, and then we have the other storm as well. We have Cindy as well, and this one also not really projected to get that strong, but you can see it's got a different track than Brett on the cone there, and takes it closer to the east coast here. So Cindy pauses its intensification as of 5 p.m. Its location 13.3 north, 49.3 west, about 815 miles east of the Lesser Antilles. Maximum sustained winds of 50 miles an hour, moving west-northwest at 16 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 1003 millibars, 29.62 inches. So looking at the storms on satellite here, we'll take a look at them first. We'll start with Brett, and this is the infrared. And you can see definitely losing strength, coming very disorganized. Let's go take a look at Cindy. And Cindy looks a little healthier. Looks like a little burst of intensification right there. Yeah, we have, and then the tracks for Cindy are interesting, and this is why I'm kind of skipping over Brett. But Cindy's a little more interesting here because the spaghetti models take it again a little closer to us, and you can see some of them take it into Nova Scotia, of all places. So, which would be pretty crazy it's only June to see that. But it would be considered, most of the models keep it on the weak side. So keep that in mind. So we'll see right now, because it's early in the season. That's why. But still, it's unusual to see these Cape Verde storms popping up at this early in the season. It's very, very unusual. MODIS satellite here, looking at the high-resolution satellite here, the visible satellite. You can see, again, the cloud cover that was over us, the moisture, this low-pressure system, and look at all that smoke that is coming off of Quebec and Ontario. We have smoke coming from Ontario, too, as well, which is over here, and then Quebec, which most of it's coming out of Quebec, but there's some very thick smoke here coming out of these areas here. Where these fires are burning, and you can see some of it's going over the Canadian Maritimes area. But the key to note here is that this is heading for Europe. So this cloud is definitely going to make it over to Europe and perhaps even Iceland, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. Very, very crazy when you think about it. Let's go to the other satellite loop of this. So we're going to actually take this to the North American view, and we'll do Canada, northern U.S. as well, and we'll run this for the 72 frames so you get to see all that smoke again. There it is. It's just a huge amount of smoke, and again, fortunately, we're getting a southerly flow, although it's bringing a lot of uncomfortable humidity. At least we don't have, if we had this kind of smoke, it would be dangerous to our health. So it looks like it's going, like I said, it's going east. It's heading east. It's heading away from us. So it doesn't look like it. For now, it does not look like we're going to be dealing with it for now. But we may have to deal with it in the future if the pattern sets up and it's blowing from the northwest again. So let's go to the current weather observations around outside. And you can see, usual areas of severe weather again. Tornado watch, Wyoming. A couple of severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings there. We still got the excessive heat going on in Texas right now. Let's go take a look and get air quality alerts in the Great Lakes. Looking at our weather here, generally it's been in the mid-60s. It's been a cool and kind of humid day, 68 and dew point 66. So it's humid, but it's cool out, and that's the way it's been all day long. Hasn't really gotten all that warm yet. We've had southeasterly winds, maybe some fog here and there, and some mist at certain times. Looks like Islip had some fog and mist. And let's go take a look and see. Only in the 60s. Maybe we just briefly touched 70 today. We had a little bit of rain, but not all that much. So let's go and look at our highs and lows. And probably not going to be, like I said, much variation here. Highs were around 70. Lows were probably mid-60s. Let's go look at precipitation. I have a feeling we didn't wind up getting that much rainfall out of these showers. Nope, not really. Some areas got a quarter of an inch. Most areas got less. The heavier rain was over eastern Pennsylvania and maybe extreme western New Jersey. But other than that, we really didn't see all that much rain from this. So let's go to the radar. Looking at the radar across our area, and you'll see there are some showers. There's that complex of showers that brought the rain over to eastern Pennsylvania. But for us, hasn't really been that much rain. Just a few showers here and there, though there is another area of rain off Virginia Beach, and we're going to have to watch these areas for tomorrow. Because, again, we have this low. Remember, we're on the right side of the low. If the low is over here in the Gulf of Maine, we wouldn't be seeing the rain and the humidity. We would be seeing the smoke. So that's the thing. And then over here, yep, more thunderstorms here around Lubbock. Looks like Kansas has got some bad storms, as well as going into, oh, yeah, this looks like a pretty nasty line right here, going into South Dakota here by Rapid City. That could be a bad storm over there. I'm kind of curious to see. We go to the weather and hazards map. Let's put these observations back up, and I want to take a look over there, and we're going to see what kind of winds these storms are causing, because they look pretty bad. And you can see you got a bunch of warnings, including one tornado warning, and here we go. We got some pretty strong wind gusts. Here you go. Rochelle Hills has an 83-mile-an-hour wind gust with these storms, so it's Boeing. So mainly straight-line wind damage with those storms. Again, still nothing is moving. Everybody's pretty much the same weather. Texas has got the heat. The Rocky Mountain areas has got east of the Rockies. You got these storms going on, and they see there are a couple of tornado warnings with them. And then you got the fires in Canada and smoke. I don't think they're reporting smoke. We're looking at Gander right now. Oh, there we go. Gander is reporting smoke, so they are reporting smoke with 6-mile visibility. So it looks like it has wound up reaching the surface after not, yeah. So what happened is they had a little low-level area of cool air, but then it got eroded away when the wind shifted to the west, and that brought in all the smoke. So now they're dealing with some pretty thick smoke in Newfoundland right there, and I'm sure they're smelling it pretty thick. So, yeah, it's kind of when that warm air kind of came in and eroded the marine layer, that's what wound up happening. And it's been pretty hot in some of these areas here. Let's see. This area's got light rain, so they still got the cool surface there. So the air at the surface, you get this cool surface air. But when the winds come from the west, you got all the warmth coming in. And where these fires are burning, it's pretty warm. And let's see if we can pull some more observations up. Just look at how bad some of this smoke is, because it's really, really bad. This one doesn't really have our 3-mile visibility. It's not reporting smoke, and it's saying there is a light rain shower. It's not really going to do anything to help with the smoke at all. But the smoke will not be our problem. Instead, it will be humidity. So let's go to the models, and we will go take a look at there's their low there. So this is going to keep us unsettled through the weekend. So that low kind of just stays off to our recent. There could be, like I said, a period of rain for time tomorrow, according to the GFS, and then that lifts out a little bit. We improve a little bit on Sunday. It's a little drier, and then we'll right back into it for next week. And could be some more rain. You can see another low there. It just kind of gets stuck. So we'll have to see what winds up happening. That's next week, and I'm not going to really look too much into that in this weather update. So let's go to the HRRR now. Good thing is we have the full 0C run of the HRRR, and most of it ends. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. And you'll see those showers pop up overnight, and a period of rain perhaps in the early morning, and then the rest of the day, according to the HRRR, doesn't look all that bad. Then it's got another area of showers and thunderstorms that would develop on Sunday. Now, every model is different when it comes to the rain and precipitation fields. And if we look at the HRRR and the total accumulated precip, you'll see it's really not all that much. However, other models have a different opinion of things, and I want to look at the NAM next. So here's the NAM, and you'll see here's the NAM, and you'll see the NAM is way more, has some pretty heavy showers and thunderstorms are after midnight popping up, and a few look like some really strong ones out over the east end. So it brings a little more of a rain chance tomorrow, but still, it's mainly in the early part of the day we're going to have the rain, and then the later part of the day it'll just be scattered. And then Sunday, you'll have it more inland. It's just heat of the day type of situations. And look, look at that line that looks like it's moving into. That's something we'll have to worry about later. We'll get toward Monday, I guess. But let's go to the back to the HRRR. I don't see that much of a difference between the two, actually. So let's go to the dew points and wind flows here, and you'll see here southeast winds. We stay with the southerly winds tomorrow. Maybe they become a little more southwesterly. You'll notice over Jersey, it's more of a westerly wind. So I have a feeling it could be much hotter in Jersey tomorrow versus Long Island. But you'll see the dew points. Very humid. Dew points upper 60s to around 70. And then we stick with that on Sunday with the humidity. Though we stick with more of a southerly flow here. So the flow still stays southerly, which should keep things from getting too hot on Long Island. They'll still here in Mineola, they'll probably still wind up getting pretty warm. They're not as hot as Jersey, though, and you never know. Won't be dropping much tonight beyond the mid-60s. And then tomorrow, similar setup where I think Jersey will wind up being warmer than today because I think the sun could break out. Maybe they could have highs in the low 80s. For us, probably mid to upper 70s. Not dropping much tomorrow night. And then Sunday could be a little bit warmer, maybe with a little more sun, maybe mid-80s in Jersey, and around 80 degrees on Long Island. So let's go take a look at our, and I don't want to forget the almanac too, so we'll do that at the end. So looking at all that, let's go look at the clouds. Obviously, we're going to have plenty of those, so we'll start with the RGM with that. And I think we'll have plenty of clouds. I'll use a couple of models for that. So here we are into tomorrow, and it looks like it does try to break a little sun out in the afternoon, just a little bit. On the South Shore could be some fog. And then for Sunday, similar type of thing where it's going to try to break a little sun out in the afternoon, perhaps. Fog on the South Shore. And then at least we won't have any smoke, so that's the good news on that. That's the RGM, however. Every model is different, so I want to look at the NAM as well. The sky cover. A little more pessimistic than NAM is. But still showing some breaks, perhaps, in the afternoon on Sunday. Sunday looks like the most likely day we would see those breaks. Whether will actually be blue sky or not, that's another story entirely. But we won't have any smoke. We shouldn't be dealing with any smoke with that southerly flow from the tropics. So that's the good news on all this. If we did have a northwesterly flow, we would be dealing with that horrible smoke. So at least, in some ways we're better off this way. So let's go to the, speaking of the smoke, let's go to the smoke model here. We'll look at the older, the 21Z run. So that's the long one. We'll do vertically integrated smoke, and we'll see where the smoke cloud is heading. It's not going to bother us. The southerly flow keeps the smoke away. You see, we're not going to be dealing with it at all. It's staying to the north, so it's good news for us, even though we will be dealing. But you notice it's creeping a little bit closer, so I'll have to watch that. And then if we get on the backside of that low that's going to move through next week, whatever fires are still there, we might be dealing with. Look at this cloud. Take a look at this. It's heading right for Europe. Yes, folks. It's going to make it to Europe. That's crazy. That's nuts. So that's what's going to be happening. And that is, I don't know if that's ever happened before. Let's go to look at the near surface smoke loop as well, because there's some of that too. And you'll see again, that stays way to the north. Yeah, but you can see a little wisp of it over here in the Atlantic, so it's possible they may be smelling wildfire smoke all the way in Europe. Spain, United Kingdom, France, some of the countries that might be dealing with some wildfire smoke all the way from Canada. That's incredible. So let's lastly look at the almanac and the almanac today. And start with Islip here. we were about 5 degrees below normal for the day, 10 degrees below normal on the high. The low is normal, but, and again, not a whole lot of rain to speak of, only 0.22. Central Park, 13 degrees below normal on the high, 7 degrees below normal for the average. So, yeah, this June is going to wind up being quite below normal. They only got 0.04 with the rainfall. Month to date, just barely an inch. So, and normally we're supposed to see 3.62 inches, so it has been dry despite all this humidity. We'll see if we can get some more showers and thunderstorms to develop, but like I said, it's mainly inland that it seems to be occurring, but we'll see what we can get overnight depending on where those showers and thunderstorms form. Maybe we can pick up some more rain, hopefully. But that is going to wrap up this weather update. Have a good night. And yes, there will be a weather update tomorrow, a brief one, because of everything going on. And have a good night.